All right, chat. Today, I'm gonna need y'all to stay sharp. I'm gonna come to y'all today. I got some real tough questions for y'all as we look across some of these situations. Of course, we're gonna start off with the Cardi B lawsuit. We're gonna take a look at that. We're gonna look at the GloRilla arrest, see what's going on there. Is she right? Is she wrong? Does she even deserve to be caught up in this type of a mix? I don't know. Y'all see the title? Drake was right with a question mark. We'll see what happens when we get there as well. Anthony Anderson exposed. I'm going to turn that into a whole long awaited topic, something that we probably should have touched on in the past. We brought it up, but we didn't get a little bit into the weeds. So I think we're going to expand that today. Might get a little controversial. And then we got some more news as well to tag on to the stream. So, like I said, everybody stay sharp. But happy Friday. Let's get into this. All right. Cardi B. What's going on with Cardi B, man? Um, One of our biggest female rappers on the scene. She ended up in the headlines behind a lawsuit tied to an old situation. All right, let's see. Cardi B is being sued for assault, battery, and negligence for allegedly throwing a microphone at a concert goer who sprayed the rapper with their drink during a concert at Drea's nightclub in Las Vegas in 2023. This is 2 years ago, not Dreas, man. That's my favorite club in the world. Are y'all hip to Dreas, man? You can't go to Vegas without passing through Dreas, man. And that's whether it's the nightclub, the day party, or the after hours. There's three main joints to Dreas, but a lot of your biggest artists go through Dreas. You're gonna catch Rick Ross perform there a lot. I've seen 50 Cent go through there. You're gonna see some of your biggest names in the game. Cardi B, obviously, performing at Club Dreas. Beautiful setup, and a lot of patrons go through there, so makes sense. As Entertainment Weekly reported at the time, videos from the event showed the rapper in the middle of her hit song Bodak Yellow when a fan raised their cup and threw their drink at her direction. A visibly startled Cardi B could be seen locating the attendee before striking or before chucking her microphone in their direction. I don't need to read that description because we're gonna take a look at the video. I just want to see if there's anything that stands out about the actual lawsuit. Several security guards stepped in to intervene. We're going to see that, all of which the alleged victim who filed their complaint under the name Jane Doe cited the lawsuit filed on Monday, which EU has reviewed. During the performance, Cardi B appeared on stage under visibly high temperature conditions. Well, it's Vegas. All right. We don't have the paperwork in front of us, and I don't think it's that serious. Per the suit, here we go. As a result of the incident, Doe claims she has incurred physical pain, emotional distress, reputational damage. Who are you? We don't even know who you are. Your fucking name is filed as Jane Doe. How is your reputation damaged? Yo, what is going on? We know what's going on. Why did I ask such a stupid question? Embarrassment. We don't know who you are. And harassment from both media and members of the public. We don't know who you are. She also claims that her emotional distress was exacerbated when the microphone itself was later auctioned for nearly $100,000. Now, I did see that. But that stresses her, huh? That her lawsuit really includes the fact that later on they sold the microphone at first of all, who sold it? Don't know who sold it. Could have been Dreas, could have been a third party. Doesn't even have to be Cardi B. But your mental distress was you felt even worse when you saw that the microphone that allegedly hit you got auctioned for 100 grand. All right, Drew Finling. Here we go. Big name lawyer. Drew Finling, an attorney for Cardi B, whose real name is, I don't even want to try to pronounce Cardi B's real name, tells EU in a statement the filing of a civil case against Cardi B regarding the 2-year-old microphone incident is a transparent and pitiful attempted financial shakedown. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department and the Clark County District Attorney's Office closed this matter for insufficient evidence a long time ago. But apparently, the opportunity to try and make money off of a celebrity was too much for some willing law firm to pass up. Before I go to the video, people, I just got to read that with y'all one more again. Doe, Jane Doe, we don't even know who the fuck it is. Jane Doe claims physical pain, emotional distress, reputational damage, embarrassment, and harassment from both media and members of the public. Okay. Let's take a look at the actual video now and see if y'all feel that all of that came from this situation. Oh my God. We're gonna play it again. Cardi throws like a girl for real, for real. Obviously, she's a fucking girl. The mic looked like it did slow motion. Let's say hypothetically the right person did get hit in the crowd by that microphone. What's the worst damage that microphone could do? What's the absolute worst damage? Maybe catch a bone like your eyebrow, maybe your lip, maybe even your nose. There's cartilage in your nose, but maybe a stitch or two, maybe if it catches you the right way. That's got to be the most that microphone can do. Like, look at how soft this shit looks. Drink thrown. She don't even throw good. She needs some baseball pitcher practice. Like, yo, that drink. Can I say that was assault then? There's alcohol in the cup, right? Alcohol got my eye. Cardi B, fuck it, countersue. Alcohol got my eye, burnt my eye, couldn't perform for the next 2 weeks, and everybody knows my shows are $1 million a piece. There you go, $6 million countersuit. The fuck? And then you wonder why when we go to concerts and we go to shows, they try to serve you the drinks with the lids off, and they already open a bottle for you, or they crack the can. It's because they don't want you dumb motherfuckers that can't handle a show, can't enjoy a party, can't enjoy a performance, get a little bit beside yourself and start throwing shit, and you want the person's attention, you want to touch them, you want to grab them. Some of y'all are reaching up trying to grab their watches off, pull their pants down, and all this type of shit. And if you end up getting kicked in your fucking face or a little microphone thrown at you, oh, come on, B. Like, we're not going to do the guilty, not guilty trial with this one, people. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Shout out to Cardi B. I hope this, and once again, the local police and everybody close this out. She's got a high power attorney on this. Waste of fucking money for those type of attorney fees, if you ask me. But she got to do what she got to do. This person claiming emotional distress, physical, emotional, and then I saw the microphone auction. I wonder what she's asking for in total if a number's been established. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like, oh, this is Club Treyas, this is Cardi B. Yes, gone with OnlyFans for me. Let's try to get this $5 million up out of this fucking little slow motion microphone that got tossed into the footage. If that's the only footage that's available, I can't even see. You better have some crazy medical reports, because I can't even prove from the footage, no bullshit, who the microphone actually hits, if it even hits anybody. Stay in the house, people. Everybody wants to sue. That's the new job. Let's go to Glow, man. Let's go to Glow. Oh my goodness. All right, let's go to Glow. GloRilla. I'll fuck with GloRilla. What she got going on? All right. Attorneys rip drug arrest. She was the victim for crying out loud. Now, the initial report broke on TMZ. I saw that. GloRilla arrested, had a mugshot in it and all that. She's since responded. We're going to take a look at GloRilla's response. And her attorney is speaking up on the situation as well. So, all right. We broke the story of GloRilla being arrested in Georgia for felony drug possession earlier today, and her legal team is calling the charges a total outrage of justice. The rapper wasn't even home. Okay. Let's check this out. As we told you, GloRilla's house was broken into this weekend. By the time cops arrived, the suspects were gone, but investigators say they encountered weed in their search for the burglars, and the rapper was then charged with felony drug possession. All right. The Forsyth County Sheriff's Office tells TMZ deputies responded to a report of a burglary in progress Saturday around 1:30 a.m. at a residence in the Atlanta suburbs. The sheriff's office says, hold on, that shit tweaked on me. My screen tweaked. 3 suspects entered the house when an armed occupant fired at the intruders. Oh, so somebody was there and ripped at you niggas, huh? So this is her mugshot. She wasn't even home. She's out and about performing somewhere else. But she had somebody there at the crib that ripped that child. She still's the one that ends up in jail, huh? That's bugged out. Okay, I see why the attorneys is pissed off. GloRilla was not home at the time in the burglary, the sheriff's office said. Three suspects fled. No injuries had been reported in the incident. The sheriff's office said Glow's attorneys say jewelry was stolen, so they got away with some stuff. Deputies executed a search of the area with a canine and a drone unit. Detectives also responded to the scene. Deputies reportedly detected a strong odor consistent with illegal narcotics, according to the sheriff's office. Are you sure y'all wasn't just going through her shit? It's always a smell or a get the fuck out of here, man. Yo, how strong is your weed, shorty? I know y'all, a lot of y'all weed smokers determine the strength of y'all weed from, sniffing through the bag. Don't even try to open it. Like, does the smell come through the bag? All you weed smokers probably know. I never smoke weed, but I've been around a lot of weed smokers, so I understand. But Jesus Christ. So you're walking around the crib. Let's say it was in her closet or some shit. You smell it. What does she have? A whole weed farm in her closet? I don't believe it. I want to know how much weed now because you motherfuckers are stupid. You was like, oh, word is this is GloRilla's house. Let's look around. Let's see. You want to be all up in her personal space. You freak ass, nosy ass niggas. And foul so weird. They pull you over and they lie with that shit too. The gun was visible. No, it wasn't. There was a visible knife on the seat. No knife was recovered. A smell of weed. What? I mean, one time I got pulled over at a checkpoint. So it wasn't about me. It was about everybody going. It was probably a holiday like July 4th or some shit like that. Coming off my exit, they set up a checkpoint, and police. So matter of fact, it was on my way to. I'm lying. It wasn't on the way home. It was on the way to, and put my window down as we're supposed to. William McNeil Jr. I put my window down. Shot fired. I put my window down, and the officer he sticks his fucking face all the way through my window, and he goes, "Had anything to drink tonight?" And I lean in a little bit, and I go, "I'm trying to get there, right?" And he laughed, and I laughed. We was being cool. I wasn't being a dick. It wasn't one of those moments. Like I could tell, I could give him a little sarcasm, right? We was laughing, and then he's like, "All right, have a good night." But what he was trying to do is he was trying to come in close to see if he could smell it on my breath when I responded. That was the point. That's why a lot of you people, I'm not encouraging drinking and driving at all. But have your gum. You know what I'm saying? Like stay the fuck off the road, number one. But it is what it is. Some of y'all, even if it's not, you're not intoxicated levels, right? Let's say you have a little sip of something and you're getting on the road, have your gum because they try to sniff it out. But you motherfuckers get out of GloRilla's business, man. All right. Let's see. The K9 unit, strong odor. Okay. A drug task force was summoned. Damn. So she's the one that was getting robbed. There was a shooting at the crib. Y'all end up calling in a drug task force while you're there? All right. And a search warrant was secured for the house. Okay, at least they had a fucking warrant. A significant amount of marijuana was discovered in plain view. They always say it's in plain view. I don't believe you. I don't believe that. But whatever. In plain view, in a closet in the master bedroom, deputies said. Glow was later charged with felony possession of marijuana and possession of Schedule 1 controlled substance. She turned herself in voluntarily in Forsyth County Jail on Tuesday and was released the same day on bail for $22,260. All right, her attorney, Andrew Finley. So she already put together a little team. They're going to go after this crazy. I get it. Here's the thing. Technically, they're going to have a case there, right? I'm pretty sure some of her options will be let the person that was staying there take the case. Right? That's one option. Option number two is how much are you going to really play within the court system? It wasn't mine. And see how far that gets you. See if a plea deal comes out, probation, something like that. Right? It sounds fucked up when we first hear about it. Like, Jesus Christ, the girl wasn't even home. She was getting robbed and she ends up in jail. But if they walk into the crib while they're trying to see what's going on with this burglary and find an illegal amount of any drug, they call the fucking drug task force, man. And then they claim it. They could book that shit into fucking evidence, and that's what you're going to fight. And so let's hope this ends up being like some probation shit or pay a fine or I don't know. Nobody's going to prove out of this task force that she's a distributor or she's a trafficker, right? You know, her lawyers would chew that up. That's not the angle that you guys are going to play. I assume that even if it's over a certain amount, the angle that you guys are going to play, the prosecution or DA side, is that she just had too much weed. Right? Okay, cool. Give her probation, whatever. Give her a program, slap her on the wrist, say, sorry that this all happened in the midst of your fucking burglary, and everybody go their separate ways. All right, let's not make a big fucking deal out of this, hopefully. Right? I don't know what her previous record is, like if that would, compound anything, but this shouldn't be a big deal. No? Yes? No? Here's her response. Crazy. My house got home invaded Saturday while I was in Indianapolis performing for the WNBA All-Star game. You see the way she detailed? That's hilarious. She didn't just say I wasn't even home. I was in a different state. She put why are you snitching, Glo? I was at the WNBA All-Star game. She clearly was putting her fucking alibi, right? I was at the WNBA game, courtside, sitting next to Lisa Leslie. I ain't mad at you, shorty. Instead of focusing on finding the suspects, they focus on some cannabis. That's a shot fired by even putting the word cannabis. Nobody uses that word out in public, regular common communication. Nobody says, "Hey, where's the cannabis?" If somebody walks up to you and says, "Yo, where the cannabis at?" That's a fucking detective. All right, walk away. She says one. So no, I wasn't busted. Okay, that's for everybody saying, yo, GloRilla just got nabbed up and tossed face first on the ground. Two, my house got robbed. Three, I wasn't home. Long story short, my house gets home invaded, and I'm the only one that gets arrested. So that's the T. That's her response. Shout out to Glo, man. Hopefully not too much comes out of that. All right, we'll leave that there. All right, what do I got next? What did I miss? Got Drake next. We got Drake next. You see in the title it says, how do I put that? Drake was right? Question mark. Was he? Wasn't he? Was he? Wasn't he? All right, let's take a look. Fans discover old post LeBron James made about Drake's son Adonis. Okay. Let's go over. So this is Drake's crib, it looks like, and his son there. And LeBron must be there posting to his story with the caption, "My nephew really loved the game." Let me pause there for a second. We got more people, and I'm going to get to another NBA superstar that I didn't even know Drake had tattooed on him as we fold out this point of, is Drake right or wrong here? Everybody knows where I'm going the moment we hear Drake and LeBron. But here's a question. Do people overuse endearing terms? And if they do, is it on you to interpret them correctly? Right? For example, you got somebody that's calling you big bro. Do they endear you like big bro? Will they hold you down like big bro? Do they totally respect you like big bro? Will they carry it like you they big bro? Bro is short for brother. All right? Okay. How about sis? Do y'all use that word too much? Do y'all overuse sis? Do you overuse I treat that person like family? That's family right there. Not blood, but you grew up with them or you've been around them long enough, you fuck with them heavy enough where it's like that's fam. Do you overuse that? How about nephew? That's a family term. If you call this little boy your nephew, right? You are what to me? My brother, motherfucker. I assume that you would do just about anything for this little. If I ended up in jail, if I ended up hurt, if I ended up in a hospital, I'm pretty sure LeBron James would be looking to say, like, does Adonis need anything? I'm talking about back then, right? I don't know about now. Probably now too. Let me give him some credit. But even back then, I'm pretty sure he would. Did y'all see the story of I'm gonna say this in the most respectful manner as possible. Did y'all see the story of how much LeBron did for Kobe's wife, after Kobe passed away, right? He went, they said he like spent the night with them. Amit stopped everything, went and spent the night with her. Brought them on a couple trips, sent them on a couple trips. I think it was a beautiful thing. You had a lot of people on the internet was like, yo, is LeBron fucking Kobe? I think people was just doing too much. But he went above and beyond to try to soothe the family, help the family, get them out of that mix and put their mind on other things when Kobe passed away, right? Those are things that you do out of respect, of course. Then there is the NBA brotherhood and camaraderie amongst each other. Like, I'm LeBron James and Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan or, you know what I'm saying, Magic Johnson or Larry Bird. These are like, I gotta move. I gotta do something, not just for me as an NBA face, but also me, hopefully, as a human being, right? People that paved the way for me and whatnot. It shows LeBron, that whole thing with Kobe, it shows his giving and his loving nature towards the people that he fucks with. And Drake is no different. This whole nephew thing, there's no doubt in my mind the way he would treat and honor this little kid, this little boy, as even one of his own, right? If he hasn't already throughout all this time. Let's keep going with some of the posts that's in this particular thread. Let me go back on a small screen for y'all. What else is here? Oh, these are comments. Wait, Bron called Adonis his nephew at one point. Okay, I'm starting to see their point. I ain't gonna, don't jump off the deep end, people, but plus 15 years of calling Drake his brother. A few years ago, LeBron James was the Tootsie Slide Challenge. Dude was dancing a Drake song with his friend. I don't care about him dancing. It's a deeper point. Oh, here's little Adonis wearing LeBron's jersey. Okay. I don't care about here's him again. Different occasion. LeBron's jersey. Drake putting his son in that situation where you're always wearing his jerseys, where you're around him, where LeBron's calling you, hey, nephew, come here, man, come get the ball and all that. Drake is opening up the most precious thing to him, his son, his child, right? That's a whole nother ball game. Watch this, people. You let people into your world. The moment I let you be around my son, my daughter, or even in my home, in the physical, you have to have a different rank, right? There's a lot of people I know never been into my home, and I would never invite them. And that doesn't mean that I don't fuck with them. It's just a different level of personal space that I'm not asking to come to your home. I'm not asking to come to your wedding. You know what I'm saying? I'm not asking to babysit your son or your daughter, and you're not trying to put yourself in my space. And we still cool as shit. There's still a lot of I still break bread with you. I still hold you down. I still got your bail money. Real talk. That's like real examples that I just gave. Pay niggas bail's money. But I ain't trying to come to your crib. I ain't trying to come to your wedding. It's like little levels. There's only like 10 people plus my family plus their direct ties. When I say like, let's say like my 10 closest folks, then their wives, then their kids, then my family. That's the group of people that's allowed to be in my crib. Everything else, let's hit I'll meet you here, whatever. It's cool. It don't mean nothing. It don't mean, you know what I'm saying? I use that to say you're interacting at this level. And I know Drake do bring a lot of motherfuckers in his house for tours and showing like these little comedians and streamers or whatnot. I know he bring a lot of people in his fucking crib to show off and let them see all that fucking square footage he got. You might as well have people over if you got all of that. You can't just keep all that to yourself. But the way you're intertwining the family and the most precious thing you have, your son. All right. Now, before I give you the verdict, right, let's go here real quick. This is really what inspired this. Not for me to go back and continue on the LeBron and the Drake thing. We just did that the other day when the new video popped up. But this came out yesterday, and I was just like, damn. Damn, Bron. Fuck, Bron. Did y'all see it? All right, let's listen to Steph when asked about Not Like Us.
Like you and Drake are super cool. Every time I see y'all courtside, it's love. And if I'm not mistaken, he has you tatted.
Yeah, you got the 30 with the halo, I think it is.
Yeah.
And, like we go way back though, and it's actually kind of a family thing too. Like one of Aisha's cousins from Toronto, she's from Toronto and the whole deal. So we're all in the same boat.
I knew you was really rocking with Drake when during the Olympics, I was like chilling, and then like in the arena they're playing Not Like Us, and you were like, "Yo, this is not the only song in America. Like, enough with this song." Is that why, or were you just sick of the song at that point?
Oh, it was both. It was both. Like everywhere we went, that's all I heard, and the fact that they knew who I was with. So you can't do nothing about what the DJ's playing. But I was like, I got sick of it at a certain point. And it was funny the cameras called me because that was from the soul. Like that was from right here.
Turn this off. Cut this off. We get it.
From right here.
It seems like you and Drake are super cool.
Can we close this once and for all, people? Once and for all, this catty ass shit between LeBron and Drake. Like me, even as a man, it's just like, it's news, so I'm in podcast mode, but I promise you, I wouldn't walk around in my regular day life like, hey, man, let's discuss it. Should I walk around upset for Drake when it comes to LeBron? I don't give a fuck that much, right? I like the news and us being able to break down the jewels and the overall how to move through life about it, but I want this to not be something we discuss frequently, all right? Once and for all, LeBron is wrong. There you go. He's wrong, okay? If that's one of your closest friends, y'all call each other brother, that's your nephew, I'm in your personal space, I'm around your wife, your kids, you're around my wife and kids, or my girlfriend and kids, and all the type of stuff, birthdays and all this, tattoos. I don't agree with the tattoo, but years of this, right? When we depart each other, we probably say, love you, man. Love you, bro. When we hang up the phone, I love you, man. You can't let Kendrick drop Not Like Us and you do that. You can't go to that pop out. I don't care how poppin' the pop out concert is. You just can't go. You just can't go. LeBron, and either he never learned that, he didn't care, or he's just, I don't know. He didn't understand true loyalty there. And that's it. I'm not going to drag it. Period. LeBron made a mistake. Drake then reacted, which then probably pushed LeBron to say, fuck it then and go heavy. Now I'm overdoing it with Kendrick. And that's what it is. Let their love quarrel end there, hopefully. Okay? No more fighting Irishes and shit. And LeBron, stop overly dancing when the fucking song comes on. It's an old ass song at this point. We don't even believe that hype. Relax. Relax. All right? Be a man and get on a fucking interview and speak on it. Don't try to do it through a dance, knowing that I'm being recorded. It's really a bitch topic. I feel weird. All right, man. What the fuck? All right, it's starting to get heavier, but before we get a little bit heavier, y'all know how healthy laughing is, right? Scientifically proven it could add time to your life. I allow myself to laugh, man. Some of this shit kills me. I ain't even gonna hold you. Speaking of Kendrick, real quick, I didn't know this, but this came out like a week or two ago. Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us, speaking of Not Like Us, becomes the first diss track in hip-hop history to be certified diamond. Look at this comment right here. Nas walked so Kendrick could run. Somebody says Euphoria was better. Euphoria was definitely a better song than Not Like Us. Hell, some people might take 616 over Not Like Us. Euphoria versus Not Like Us is not even a debate. I take Meet the Grams way over Not Like Us. Y'all remember my reaction videos when I first listened to Not Like Us, which I was just like, this is cool, but the word but, you know, so I was like, but, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's the one. The only reason why I brought this up real quick too, people, is to be real, this is the type of stuff that can help Drake. Is a lot of Kendrick is the number one. Kendrick is the first person to ever behind a lot of this stuff. A lot of awards, a lot of accolades, a lot of crashing numbers. If he gets his hands on any proof, if he doesn't already have, including that guy he's chasing around to subpoena that supposedly was involved in proxying money between UMG to these other services, allegedly. if he gets any of this proof or the jury leans his direction, all of this type of stuff will constitute it. And then there will be a big reaction throughout the entire music world, entertainment world, and hip hop industry of all these accolades and all these numbers that we were seeing. Times like this when people say, wow, Not Like Us is the first single to go, this song to go platinum. That's crazy. People's going to wheel all that back in. And one thing that could happen at that point, when you start looking at all the numbers, if Drake is able to win that piece and prove that out, the numbers being pushed, inflated, body, all that type of stuff, people's going to start putting an asterisk towards some of Kendrick's accolades, just like the bubble championship with LeBron, right? They're going to say, yeah, it's a championship, but it was the bubble, right? Some people think like that. I think time will tell that a championship is a championship. Relax. But they're going to do that. They're going to say them Grammys that you swept, them Emmys that you got, them BET Awards that you swept, the halftime show that they gave you. Was you really? That will be a conversation. Shit helps Drake. Drake is lawyer. Every time something like this land, they checking it off. Look, Judge. First diss track ever. Is it really that good? No, it ain't. If the man caught super duper once in a lifetime lightning in a bottle and the song went like that because this was the biggest hip hop beef ever, battle ever, then I could understand it. But if you got all this other stuff that said, yeah, it was supposed to do this, but not this. All right. Doesn't mean he didn't get his ass kicked during the battle. We hip hop has tried to stick to the songs and the battle itself, but all the politics around this shit is getting heavier and heavier. We're gonna keep watching it. All right, y'all ready for the most serious topic of today's stream? Maybe I should have given him a bigger picture in the thumbnail, but I gave his ass the red arrow pointer in the thumbnail, though, right? He got the red pointer in the thumbnail. Mr. Anthony Anderson, come on over here, man. Come sit down with us. The Sorry Is True podcast court is now in session. I am your honorable judge, ARP. We have our beautiful jury here selection of 200 plus folks. I know it ain't no 12. Nah. The whole chat is our jury. All right. Chill out, Cap. I see people already. They on your heels. The jury is already. They didn't even get the fucking intro. And the jury is already giving you guilties. Chill out, chat. But then, come take a seat. I am your honorable presiding judge, ARP. Here is a jury selection of your peers. The Sorry Is True chat, our full chat, our members, and be careful of our mods, because I listen to them. But court is now in session, Mr. Anthony Anderson. And prosecution, I'm going to hear your opening statements first and foremost. I'd like to understand why we are here. Please let myself and the jury understand any valuable pieces of evidence in your opening. We do things a little different over here. We have these general opening statements where the prosecutors and the DA get a chance to just verbally address the court on why we are here. Me, I'm different. I allow exhibits and evidence to come in the opening statements. Why not? So, prosecution, Sorry Is True chat, please, let's have your opening statement and go ahead and present any initial evidence as we kick off today's trial. Now, the evidence that has been presented is from some time ago. It is from some time ago. Now, before we play it, look at the caption. Oop, Anthony Anderson gets backlash after old interview resurfaced where he stated he liked underage girls to the clearly uncomfortable 17-year-old Lindsay Lohan. The fact that she knew she had to announce she was underage is so sad to me. And for him to continue after that is like, wow. All right, let's play the video. Let's make sure we don't lose any context.
Okay, look, what have you been up to work-wise these days? What's going on for you next?
I just wrapped on 2 movies. One's Disney, one's Paramount. Tina Fey wrote one called Mean Girls.
Okay.
It's a little older.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's other stuff in it. It's just kind of me maturing in films and everything like that. But they're both coming out around April. I'm very excited about that.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens after that.
All
I
right.
might be starting something in February.
Really?
I'm going home for the holidays. So.
All right, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Freaky Friday comes out on DVD today. All right, there it is. Get the DVD. Look, there are a lot of bloopers. We got to go. Okay, well, look. Lindsay brought a copy of Freaky Friday for everybody. Cheer! And you can look for her next in Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen and Mean Girls. Right now, we're about to get our freak on. Okay, look, what have you been up to work-wise these days? What's going on for you next?
I just wrapped on 2 movies. One's Disney, one's Paramount. Tina Fey wrote one called Mean Girls.
Okay.
It's a little older.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's other stuff in it. It's just kind of me maturing in films and everything like that. But they're both coming out around April. I'm very excited about that.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens after that.
All
I
right.
might be starting something in February.
Really?
I'm going home for the holidays. So.
All right, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Freaky Friday comes out on DVD.
Just bought a place out here with my friend Raven.
Oh.
So
Okay, so I had it on the second slide, the Freaky Friday. The defense in today's trial, that's going to be something for them. Now, I know we just did the whole prosecution side and they're still in the midst of their opening. Bear with me, people. We're going to try to be fair. And when we get to the defense is going to have a big fight. All right, stay with me. Prosecution, please continue your opening statement.
I'm back and forth.
Raven Simone, huh?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, look at that. Raven Simone. So, both of you are beautiful women. Both of you are young and have your own individual styles and things like that. How are you guys going to compromise on decorating the home?
We kind of have the same ideas. And I mean, our rooms are completely different. Like literally you walk into mine and it's all pink.
Okay.
I have like pink satin sheets and like hers is darker and stuff. But that's what's cool about it. We're not like going at each other with the same things.
What gentleman will be at the new pad with you and Raven Simone?
No one.
I'm just talking about, like parties.
No, I don't have a boyfriend.
She's single, but looking.
But I'm illegal for people that are old.
Well, some men like them young. We ain't gonna mention no names, but I'm one of them.
Just bought a place out here with my friend Raven.
Okay.
So I'm back and forth.
Very clear. She put it out there. I'm 17. Like I can't do all of that. He said, well, it's all good. Some men like them young. I'm one of them. There was a little slight flirtatious vibe that he gave as well. Okay. Prosecution. Do you have anything else? Yes. Prosecution would like to move to additional exhibits of evidence revolving around Sir Anthony Anderson as it relates to his past. Now, your past, your record, right? Previous instances, they will always constitute outcomes in trials, right? Has he ever punched somebody in the face before? Yes. Look at this video, this video, this video, and this video. Okay, let's see. Anthony Anderson's past. What do we have here? Article number 1. This is now evidence piece in article number 2. This article here, 2004. Anthony Anderson sued for sexual assault. Los Angeles, September 16th. A woman has filed a suit against Anthony Anderson and Warner Brothers TV, alleging the actor sexually assaulted her after a Los Angeles TV show taping. A woman identified as Jane Doe filed a $900,000 suit Wednesday in Los Angeles Superior Court, 2 months after Anderson was accused of R-ing a woman, Entertainment Tonight reported Thursday. Okay. I believe there is a third exhibit from the prosecution. Okay, what's this one? Is there a date on this one? This one says updated January 2024, this article. What to know about the essay allegations against Anthony Anderson? Can't be more. Anderson has steadily worked in film and TV since, okay, we know that. 20 years ago, film extra alleged Anderson had SA'd her on the set. Okay, this is 2004. This was brought back up as he was called for what, hosting? A second accuser came forward the same year and sued Anderson. A woman identified in court documents as Jane Doe filed a sexual assault lawsuit against Anderson. This is the 900,000 one. So this is two. A third, wait, hold on, three? A third woman reported Anderson to the police in 2018 for an alleged sexual assault. The Los Angeles Police Department opened a criminal investigation against Anderson after a woman who catered one of his events reported him for allegedly SAing her. The blast recounted in July 2018. The woman claimed she had met with Anderson after the event to discuss future business opportunities, at which point she alleged he assaulted her, according to the outlet. Sources told the blast the woman decided to go to the police months after the incident purportedly occurred in part because of the Me Too movement. Okay. All right. In summary, we have 2004 aggravated R allegation. The charges were dismissed by the judge. We also have 2004, a civil lawsuit essay. No public outcome was disclosed. No public outcome being disclosed. That might end up like Shannon Sharp, allegedly. Might not never hear nothing. It's all NDA'd. It's all confidential. Can't even try to sweep that under the rug. All right? But no public outcome disclosed. Sounds like a behind the scenes check cut, maybe settlement, this whatever. I can't assume all the way, but you guys get it. 2018, alleged essay at an event. No charges filed due to non-cooperation. Doesn't say who was the non-cooperatant, but those are three instances from the past. Okay. Prosecution. Do you guys have anything else in your opening statement? No, they are to rest at this point. Okay, let's go to the defense. Defense. Oh, this is going to be good when we get to the guilty, no guilty, and trial chat. I got y'all. On the defense side, the first issue that defense takes is that this is a celebrity public figure, multimillionaire. Okay? We've seen many, many instances where these opportunists come around these wealthy or these established, highly revered men willingly. We also want to call reference to a recent large worldly case of Diddy and say the Jane Does and the Cassies of the world were deemed what? Deemed what? Okay? We believe that some of these cases and some of these accusations are very, very similar in nature. Now, as it pertains to the video that you guys just watched, as you see the prosecution, they also showed the second piece of that clip where he was holding up the DVD. The name of the movie was Freaky Friday, right? My client was simply playing to the theme of the movie as a comedian. And this is all blown out of proportion. Freaky Friday, girls, boys, promotion. You see the little pink pillow on the couch here that we staged as a prop, which would be a actual piece that would come from the movie in the young lady's bedroom. Why is there a focus on these girls' bedroom? I understand the movie. I was given this synopsis when we had this guest coming up, and I'm simply playing to it. But this is being blown out of proportion because I had a few gold-digging, trying to get a check up out of me women from the past come out with frivolous accusations of which I was never found guilty of. One dismissed, and one is not disclosed to the public. Period. I've never been found guilty of taking advantage of a woman. That is the fact. Now, I also want to call my own exhibits. You sorry it's true jury? Fuck y'all. I want to call my own exhibits. And some of the exhibits that I would like to call, I'd like to show you guys. Oh, this is getting good. I'd like to show you guys that in today's society, we have transitioned and evolved a lot post Me Too movement, post the internet, post laws changing. There's been a lot of evolution of what was cool versus what was accepted today. And I'd like to call a lot of those examples. It's just not fair to me because this is old footage during times when this was actually joked, fun, laughed about in society. Exhibit 1 I'd like to go to is related to a very, very well-known movie that I'm pretty sure a lot of my peers, jury of my peers, are aware of. Belly. I didn't see this outrage from directors or producers, Hype Williams and the actors Vita and DM. I didn't see this outrage when we were doing entertainment in this movie as I was doing entertainment on my talk show. I didn't see this outrage. But my first exhibit.
Cut the bullshit, Are you fucking Tommy or what? Well, not exactly, you see. I'm only 16. So Tommy said we couldn't fuck him. But I did suck his dick the night before last. You what? I said I sucked his.
I'd also like to bring exhibit number 2. Even worse than just a mere phone call scene, right? But the actual act of it. I did not see the outrage. And I don't understand why, other than society has continued to evolve. No? Yes? Let's see.
I'm no lead. I'm trying to call him.
Yo, you can't even think like that, sir. You can't even think like that. You understand?
What time you think you'll be home?
You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Be
Sorry, court, we're not going to play but too much. That's a little bit too vulgar in nature. But once again, I believe that most of my peers have already seen that movie and remember that scene. Mind you, I would like to call out that this young actress in this scene, as well as Lindsay Lohan when she appeared on my talk show at the time, or my client's talk show at the time, are the same age. Underage 17, I believe, right? I'm not done with y'all, though. I would like to call another piece of evidence, since the prosecutors are on my ass so much for some old footage, to continue to show you how much society has evolved and changed, okay? 15 of the most controversial lines in hip-hop history. I would like to ask the jury of my peers, right? Because Anthony Anderson is taking the stand himself too, okay? All right, keep up. A jury of my peers to beg to ask the question, can some of these lyrics be said today versus when they were stated in the past? All right, let's look at Ice Cube. So don't follow me up and down your market, or your little chop suey ass will be a target of the nationwide boycott. Juice with the people. That's what the boy got. So pay respect to the black first, or we'll burn your store right down to a crisp, and then we'll see you. Because you can't turn the ghetto into a black Korea. So this is highly disrespectful to all of my Asian brothers and sisters that just happen to own real estate or businesses in what is deemed urban areas. This would be a call to high violence of burning. I saw that scene in American History X. They ran up in the supermarket and just beat on everybody in there from a position of racism. No? Can these lyrics go today? Ice-T and the cop killer stuff? Okay, all right. Paris, Bush killer? Really? Sadat X? We remember Sadat X and the Brand Nubians, right? We don't want to call to some of those lyrics. What was Big talking about here? Then I'm dipping up the block and robbing the bitches too. Up the herringbones and bamboos. I wouldn't give a fuck if you pregnant. Give me the baby rings and the #1 mom pendant too. This is your beloved Notorious B.I.G., aka Biggie Smalls, speaking on robbing a pregnant mother of all of her valuables. Okay. Let's see what's happening here in Tupac with Casey and JoJo. See Dolores Tucker use a mother. Instead of trying to help a nigga, you destroy a brother. Worse than the others. Bill Clinton, Mr. Bob Dole, you're too old to understand the way the game's told. Politician involvement gets kind of sketchy these days. Wait, this one here, I would definitely like to show to the jury of my peers. DMX, X is Coming, 1998, his first album. No, I'm sorry. That was Dark and Hell is High's first album. And if you got a daughter older than 15, I'ma R her. Take her on the living room floor right there in front of you. Then ask you seriously what you gonna do. This is even younger than Lindsay Lohan or Vita in the movie scene of Belly. He said older than 15. The hell? Eminem in 2000. Once again, 25 years ago. I take 7 kids from Columbine, stand them all in line, add an AK-47, revolver 9, add a Mac 11, and then outside of problem bond, and that's a whole school of bullies shot dead at one side. Like, we don't even remember the cadence to this song from the heavily purchased and sought after Marshall Mathers LP. One of the biggest hip hop albums ever. Shooting kids. The Diplomats. I worship the prophet, the great Muhammad Omar Atta, for his courage behind the wheel of a plane. Reminds me when I was dealing the cane. Is that somebody that crashed into the Twin Towers? Is that one of the flight? The terrorist that put that black hole on the whole entire country and is responsible for taking hundreds of lives during the whole 9/11? Really? I ask, where was your outrage? I ask, what was the response back then? I asked, was these albums taken off the shelves? I asked, did some of these albums like DMX go on to sell platinum and Marshall Mathers LP multi platinum? I ask, when they were talking about R-ing 15-year-olds in front of the family, I ask, what happened? Where was the outrage? When the scene happened in Belly, where was the outrage? And defense would like to rest their opening statement along with the evidence presented, stating simply that times have changed. This was accepted, and this was an act of me playing alongside the Freaky Friday movie with this young girl. I dare not ever conduct this type of behavior in my real life, and I dare not support this type of behavior in today's modern society, but this was the vibe. Rapped, joked, acted this type of stuff out. Chat, as it pertains to Anthony Anderson getting backlash for that old clip today in 2025, also factoring in his past of those type of accusations that he was never found guilty of, though, but guilty, not guilty, trial. I didn't want to make it easy for y'all. What? I remember Lil Monster said, my boy ARP had that big breakfast today. Yes, sir. Let's go. Are you not entertained? All right. What do we got here? I remember KX, Sulu homie, says guilty. He had legal charges. Charges is not guilty. I respect your decision here. I just want to make that clear, though. A lot of people are charged with shit and not guilty of something. I'm just saying. Sassy says trial. Big Yellow 317 says guilty. Keita says guilty as fuck still. Between rounds says trial. Chat right here says not guilty. Sniper says trial because of his previous situations where they smoked this fire type shit. That's why the prosecution put it on the table. They try to show past allegations. I remember Kelson says, piece of cake. They all guilty. Pac, Eminem, DMX, Vita, Anthony Anderson, fuck them all. They all guilty. Hype Williams, everybody, right? Okay. I remember Cap and Ahmad says, no, he's still guilty. Randall from the chat says trial. Don Bean, our member, says still going guilty. Guilty. Statute limit. Good. Oh, Tay. That was a good one. That was a good one. Nobody thought about that. I didn't think about that neither. Statute of limitations. It is old footage. Okay. Statute of, all right, yeah. All right. Judge, can I see a second case outcome? You mean a reference? Well, we did reference some of his old ones. A reference, I don't have a case off the top of my mind that is a reference that fits similar. Because this particular case is about him sitting up there on a talk show saying things that are not accepted today. So I don't have a recent case that I could think about that. All right. And I'm definitely going to come to all the supers and the gifts on the channel in a second, y'all. This is what I say. Fuck. I'm going to say not guilty. Do I believe there's a little bit of a Diddy mix here? Watch this. Do I believe that Diddy is a piece of shit person? Yes, I do. Do I think that by letter of the law, he's guilty of some sex trafficking charges that he actually beat? Yes, I do. By letter of the law. Do I think he abused certain people and did some shit that maybe was sexually inappropriate or possibly maybe even illegal? I would say, yeah, I could see that. Right? But why I got you in court matters. I got Anthony Anderson in court today because they brought up this old video of him saying something that none of us should be saying. It was nasty what he said. I do have no choice but to take into account that I happen to be a person. I got to look in the mirror. That when I heard these lyrics back then, when I saw some of these references back then, when I watched some of these movies back then, I didn't fly out the window. Now, it could have been because I was way less mature back then, over 25 years ago, right? And I was just watching the movie and not paying attention to, hey, is this right? Is this wrong? I could blame that. I could blame my age and maturity at the time. But the fact is, it was wrong then and it's wrong now. So if it was wrong then versus it being wrong now, what's the difference? The difference is how much society has evolved. We are very, very sensitive to a lot of things that we should have been sensitive to back then. These rappers can't use the F word. I'm not talking about fuck. The F-A, you can't use that word anymore. It used to fly off the hinge 25 years ago. You can't use that word anymore. Why? Why? Times change. Things evolve. Things get more sensitive. Censorship needs to go up. Social media and the internet brings the reach of this content right to the 4-year-old now, when it was less reachable, or the 10-year-old. There's a lot going on. I have to select my videos as I upload them or cut my lives on. Is this for 18 and over? Is this for, I have to set that, or is this children appropriate? I can't set that. There's a whole realm on YouTube alone that's like for the kid shit, like when they're unpacking toys and they're playing with dolls and stuff. There's no you can't. I have to even set that on the guidelines of this stuff, from an advertisement impact, from a sponsorship impact, from a societal impact, from a corporate impact of us not being stained for our reputation, not offending any of these different markets that actually add to my bottom line, my figures, my dollar, my earnings. I'm selling this particular product, a DVD, the belly. I don't want to offend the gay community. I don't want to offend a community that supports abortion. I don't want to offend Republicans. I don't want to offend Democrats. I don't want to offend Black people, Asian people, white people, Hispanic people. I don't want to offend these different pockets, right? And these are the changes that we have continued to go down as it relates to sexuality, as it relates to sexual behavior, as it relates to words that you can say, as it relates to the type of energy you could have towards certain demographics or nationalities. It's all evolved along with the internet and social media as well. So I have to take into account that Anthony Anderson didn't say that today. He said that back then. And if I go at him for back then, I got to go at everybody. And I did take 5% account to the fact that it was a Freaky Friday promotion. I took 5% account of that. 5%, nothing too crazy. But it's that Diddy shit where it's like, not guilty, but I don't fuck with some of the shit you do, and I got to keep an eye on you. Continued. So I don't fuck with Anthony Anderson. I don't. But letter of the law and looking at society, I got to go not guilty. All right? I got to be fair. As fair as possible. I try to not be ARP. I just try to be a judge right there. Okay? All right. Thank you, Don Bean. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Here's some things that I had in mind over a month ago when this topic came up about when we were going over Diddy. I'm transitioning people. Like, we done with Anthony Anderson. Related to Diddy. And then I start to ask the questions to the chat. Watch this. Before I pull the first one, I'm just going to go one by one. As it relates to the Diddy case and what we saw with Cassie and what we saw with Jane Doe, can you be forced to stay in a relationship? Go ahead, chat. Yes or no? Can you be forced to stay in a relationship? Because the words like consent and coercion, they've taken off in 2024 and 2025, boy, especially around the Diddy trial. Can you be forced to stay in a relationship? This is relevant to times changing. Our member KX says yes. Okay. Chat Reptiles here says yes. Chase TV says yes. McChilson says yes. When you're famous, yes. I like this one. Sweet Butter from the chat says, under certain stipulations, yes. Or circumstances, yes. Between rounds says yes. Our chat, Sean says yes or no. Yes or no. Jonathan, our member Muddy Hands says yes. Yes, a lot of people are saying yes. What's Nikita? I don't want to get a couple women in here. I don't want to be insensitive, but I say no. But I've never been a victim. Respect. I respect that. I respect that comment. MSM, our member says subjectively, depends. I liked it. I like Tribe. I like this one right here too for where I'm about to go. It says forced, no. Coerced, always so. You can always, so no. Ooh, Tribe, I'm going to use yours to transition. Forced, no. Forced, yes. Forced, yes. All right, exhibit for this question. Let's go to a classic since we're also talking about old school versus times changing. Let's go old school. Ike and Tina, I need you. I need you for this one. Let's go.
You ain't believe me. Thought you was gonna get away from me. Thought a nigga like me was gonna let you get away from me. You can't get away from me, and I'm in here. Now you wanna act like you don't even know me.
Yeah, I know you. I know you real well, all right?
All right, then. You know me so well. Tell me what I'm gonna do now. Come on, I can't.
Damn. Shit.
You ain't got all that mouth. Come on, Tim. Talk to me, and I can't hear you.
That's supposed to scare me. Oh, yeah.
His face. Yes. Classic. He played that shit. Oh my God. Some of us watched this movie and hated him as a person as if Ike was really Lawrence Fishburne. Like, and Angela's, there's no better Tina Turner ever. There will never be. They had the two perfect actors for this movie. But anyway, yes, you can be forced. Yes, you can be forced, man. You could literally think your life is in danger. Absolutely. But it's the getting away and then returning. Like this situation right here is Tina already away from Ike. right? She's already moved on. She's already left him behind, and he snuck into her dressing room at one of her shows. Like, hey, what's up, girl? Bought you some flowers. And she's like, what the fuck? He pulls out his gun, says, you can't get away from me, bitch. Like, and she still walks off on him, right? Finally breaking that last piece, which was the mental piece of him thinking that he had the mental fear as well. But that gun is a threat. There's no way to cut it. He pulled a gun out on her, B. You know what I'm saying? So times will continue to change, and we will always keep an open eye to coercion, consent, and what happened back then versus what's accepted now. Let's do another one. How about this one? Chat. We're staying relevant. We're staying relevant, all related, all related. Next question for y'all. Can you R a woman that you're married to on some old, like Cassie said towards the end of her relationship with Diddy, he R'd her, and then they asked her, like, on Cross, did you guys have consensual sex after that? She said yes, and they're just like, huh? Right? Can you R your wife? Can you? Can you R your wife? Sniper says, our member says yes. Unfortunately, people do. Our member Kelson says yes. KX says no. Sweet Butter from the chat says yes. Can you R your wife, people? Our chat here, Lindell says yes. Jay Mitchell says, of course you can. Nikita, our member, Nikita became a member on y'all, says yes. Sassy says yes. Even in marriage, you can be great. Jonathan Muddy Hand says yes, but who does that, right? John says hell yes. Between Rounds says yes. MSM says yes. Yes, 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 yes. A lot of yeses. Of course you can. Yes, 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 yes. Yep, it's weird though. I see y'all, chat. Okay. On the last question, I gave y'all one example from one side of the coin. Let's do both sides of the coin now. So let's go with what a majority of the chat just said, which was yes. Can it happen in a relationship or marriage? Yes. Going with what's love got to do with it. Once again, this was a clear scene depicting that clearly.
That's it for me.
And you know I can't play this. Most of us have seen the movie, right? Rico Love from the chat says, I hated this scene. They killed this movie, man. They really killed this fucking movie. This says you can't grape anyone who identifies as, huh? I don't know what that one was, but unfortunate scene. You live with the man. This is your ride or die. I've been together 10, 15, 12, however long, making money together, got careers together, all type of stuff. And to show a form of dominance and power in the midst of violence, that's what he did to her. Okay. Now, on the flip side, let's end this on a lighter note because I don't want people dragging their feet on a Friday morning. On the flip side of that coin, we're going to say an R-ing is when it's non-consensual, right? I guess that's the best way to put it. If sexual intercourse or some type of sexual act has taken place and it was non-consensual, that is the core foundation of an R, right? Yet, I don't think y'all are going to call this an R. Let's see the other side of the coin. DL, talk to me, man. Talk to me.
But before you go, do it again.
Talk to me.
I want to make sure I didn't like it. See, I've been married for 13 years. Before you get married, you get all the fucking sex you want. After you get married, you're on some kind of goddamn ration. I don't feel like it. I got a headache. Girl, I don't even want to fuck with your head. You could be asleep for all I give a goddamn. Every woman in here that woke up before, what you doing back there? Nothing, but I'll be finished in a minute. Now turn around, you're fucking my concentration up. They don't never want to do the freaky shit you want them to do no more, boy. They get hair from your wife. You got
Hey, I'm going to come to the chat for that one. Chat. Look, laughing, facts, chat, and ladies, don't run now. Is that example that DL Hughley just gave R? Yes or no? Is that an R example? Yes or no? Stop laughing. Everybody in the chat is laughing. Stop laughing and answer the fucking question. Yes or no? Is that an R? Nah, that's not ARP. LOL. Okay. And Cap says, nah. Tribe says, to me, force is physical. Choosing to stay in a relationship regardless of the reason is coercion to me. If your life is threatened, you are choosing life over leaving. And not even just your life. If your health, period, or anything that makes you uncomfortable. How about anything? Not even just your life. You know what I'm saying? Nope, can't grape your wife. But once again, we showed on the other side of the coin, I did. You know what I'm saying? But I assume KX, you mean this one for the DL Hughley example. Okay. Technically what? Special being, technically. Yo, you got a fucking Anthony Anderson default picture now that I noticed that today. You might want to duck low on today's stream. Yes, that's a you put LOL at least. All right, Major. I don't know. As Sassy says, that's different. No. I've been swinging around push trial. Now imagine, all jokes aside, if that woman that DL Hughley is laughing about, his wife after 13 years, woke up and turned around and said, what you doing? He said, no, just turn around. I'll be done in a minute. Right? Imagine she went to court. Let's stop all of this for today. A lot has changed in time. But at the same time, nasty is nasty, wrong is wrong. I think the whole point of that whole segment from when we started from Anthony Anderson and went all the way through the new lyrics versus old lyrics and certain words changing and Biggie's lyrics, DMX's scene, Belly, and all these movies and all these examples and Tina Turner, Ike, and DL Hughley laughing. And we go through these examples. And I think the most important point to make right here is that it's circumstantial. That's the most important point. Because if it's any of us in these situations, I don't want to be that DL Hughley moment and end up in court with that type of shit as an accusation on my name. I would feel crazy. That would be fucked up. But I don't want to see the Ikes of the world get away with it. And people be like, walk out the room or turn a blind eye like, shit, that's between them. That's just what they do. You know? And then the changing of the lyrics. If you're going to accept DMX and Eminem rapping like that, you got to realize like that's some of what Anthony Anderson was doing, but we still take into account his multiple accusations and situations. Circumstantial, people. All right. We're done for today. I'm going to leave it there. Appreciate everybody that tuned in today, man. Today was fun. We got to really fake court. Normally we just go over the situation and say trial, not guilty or guilty. But today we got to act like we was in court for a second. That was cool. That was different. I'll try to do those every once in a while. Why not? If I could find a way where I think I could present a strong prosecution, but also a strong defense, we'll have fun. We'll do it like that while mix it into still covering the news. Because really what that was about was covering this whole backlash and all this news coming up for Anthony Anderson. And then we try to just turn it into something. So I appreciate y'all, man, for partaking in that, you know, being a part of the chat. Let me come over to also, before we get up out of here, of course, let me come over to the super side. So KX gifted on the channel at 5:35 a.m. The stream started at 6 a.m. At 5:35 a.m., KX had already put a membership out there for somebody to catch. And it looks like it was Brick City 81 at 6 a.m. when the stream started that caught that membership. So once again, shout out to KX. When he does them, he typically does them early. So you got to be here when the stream starts to catch them. So this is a prime example right here. 6 a.m. Brick City caught a membership. But wow, then Brick City turned around and then gave out 10. What is going on? Yo, we got the dopest fucking community over here that's growing. You caught a free membership and said, "Oh, word," and turned around and gave out 10. This is incredible, B. I'm about to shed a little something in the corner of my eye, man. Y'all are amazing, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Thank you once again, Brick City. Big Money says you're not covering the T Grizzly situation. So we talked about it the other day. I'm letting more develop because it's almost like the little baby. Well, little babies is worse because little baby situation, the police chief actually came out and subbed little baby, right? Like we know who's responsible and blah, blah. And then we saw those documents that came out of naming the gangs that were under investigation. You had like duct tape on there. You had 4 Pockets Full on there. Obviously, little baby shit. So there's stuff that's already we seen legally. It's like, ooh, little baby, the water's very, very warm right now. You know, is an indictment on the way for you. This thing with T Grizzly, there's a piece of it that's like, it seems like internet blowing it up, but then there is another piece of it where there's a lot of like questionable shit, right? I saw his response too. And I think what I'm waiting for is the next development. But I got my eyes fully on it, homie. And we definitely on top of it. So shout out to Big Money. Shout out to Ethan Johnson, a member for 22 months. That's almost 2 years. The memberships on this channel started when I released the Hitman versus Ill Will face-off. And I remember that because I had to convert the whole channel. I had to work with Quarter Lab to put it on a whole different system where memberships were allowed and monetization had to be turned off for a couple of days. I lost all the back data of the channel statistics and everything. It's like completely like leaving network and then rejoining network. And that's why I always remember that's how long memberships are offered. So if you got a membership at the time when the Hitman versus Ill Will face-off dropped, that was 1000% day one. And anytime around that period is day one. Max Out 3, that's all day one memberships. So appreciate you, Ethan. Thank you. Big Yellow 317, he gave 5 out today. We moving. KX says presentism. I assume that's a word related to present times, judging the past with today's standard. Yeah, I gotta bring that piece up of it. It's part of the equation, people. Don Bean gifted a membership at 7:01 a.m. and then came back and gifted another one at 7:09 a.m. I appreciate you, Don. Thank you. And then he also says, I'm here all the time, AR, but fire live. Thank you. Yeah, I think today's was fun, man. I have fun today. Definitely have fun. I don't know. I got to find a way to get myself on the jury or even on the prosecution. Like, I don't want to be the judge all the fucking time. I'll figure that out. Tribe gifted on the channel as well. People are taking a lot of pride in what we got going on over here. And that's why I think a lot of the gifts are going on, man. This is a team effort. So I really appreciate y'all, man. Kay says that's 17 new members from one morning of us coming here and doing what we do. Kay, absolutely. That will always be the motto for all of us. Team effort. Appreciate y'all. And it happens to be Friday, man. So happy Friday to everybody. I don't even want to bait. Like, we're going to be back later on this afternoon. Let me start clipping all this stuff up for everybody else that's coming on YouTube later on in the day. And worst case scenario, I will catch y'all in the morning, y'all. Happy Friday. Be safe.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I drop it, connected to block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry Street Podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.